If you've been struggling with your lunges and every time you're trying to lunge or increase your load in your lunge, you get that pinching feeling in front of your hip, and you've tried the stretching, you've tried activating, you've tried foam rolling, and none of them worked out just yet, this video is for you. For a very long time, I struggled with this pinchy, bony pain in front of my hip every time I lunged or I increased my load or frequency. And I decided to finally book an appointment to go to a chiropractor and to figure out what was actually going on. Not only that, I was also very stiff in my hamstring. So what she said was, oh my God, one of your leg is significantly shorter than the other leg. And all you need to do is doing some hamstring, in particular figure 4 stretches, and also do some foam rolling exercises, and hopefully that will go away. And I did that religiously, but nothing really went away. And then I started working with a kinesiologist, and the same thing happened. And he said, maybe push your knee a little bit further out, or just keep doing it until you build enough muscle strength to be able to keep doing that. But I knew every time I ignored that painful feeling in front of my hip, it would drive all the way down to my knees and into the inner part of my right foot. And that would become really uncomfortable and sore for quite a few days after that. And it took me years to finally find an answer. And in this video, I will share that with you. I will share 3 things. Number 1, understanding what was actually happening, and testing out and seeing what is actually happening for you. And lastly, I share exercises and modifications that absolutely supported me to be able to continue increasing my load and being able to move better as a result of that. Hey, my name is Hedi Shah. I am a body worker and a mindfulness teacher, and I teach those who've tried so many different things to finally be able to move beyond what keeps them stuck and in pain through nervous system regulation, breath work, and posture-focused strength training. Let's get into this video. The most important piece of information that was missing from all the appointments and all the things that I explored to that point was the problem wasn't my hip. The problem was the position of my pelvis. And your hip is attached to your pelvis, so it responds to your pelvis orientation and how your pelvis moves in the space. So for me in particular, you can see in this photo here that my pelvis and my entire body was oriented towards the right. The majority of the humans are oriented towards the right due to the distribution of the organs, heart on the left and the rest of the organs, the majority of the rest of the organs on the right. And we tend to be a little bit heavier on the right. And in order for us to survive and to be able to breathe effectively and move through space effectively, we tend to be a little bit more oriented towards the right. But that's not for everybody. Some people have different orientations, especially if they had injuries, traumas, or significant things that happened to them. When I understood that my pelvis was oriented towards the right, finally everything made sense, because when I was lunging and I was orienting further to the right, I would reach a point that I just didn't have any more space to orient to. And that's why I was getting all of that stickiness and that bony pain in my hip. So I needed to learn how to not only continue doing single leg movement, but doing it in a way that supports my pelvis to position better, aka being able to move better into the left so I can go back and forth rather than getting stuck on one side of my body. So this is how I found out. Obviously, this assessment, it's a very simplified version of the assessment that takes an entire session for me to take my clients through. But this is a very simple way to get some ideas on what your orientation might look like. So let's get into that. So we're going to start with the first assessment. Before we get into the assessment, this is not a range of motion competition. We want to look at where do you go naturally and effortlessly, okay? So lie down on your back, arms nice and open, head nice and relaxed, knees nice and attached to one another, feet nice and attached to one another, and look up towards the ceiling and then slowly move to the right. So we're not looking at lifting the arm off the ground. We're actually keeping everything very relaxed on the ground. Again, like you would go into a position naturally. And you can take a photo here at your end range and then come back up, go to the other side. And again, take a photo here and then come back up. I know I have a greater range of motion towards the right, and even when I'm doing that, I feel a lot more effortless going to the right, okay? So you can also check in and see which side was easier, which side was a little bit more restricted. Now we're going to do the same thing for our upper body, or the orientation of your rib cage. Lie down on your side now. You're going to create a square on your legs, and your body is nice and perpendicular to your legs. Arm is reaching up. If I were to draw a line from my mid finger all the way down to my middle of the chest, everything would have been in the same line. And then you slowly open up, going as far back as you can. So what you're not doing is you're not opening the chest. You're not also poking your shoulder forward. You're not also lifting up or down, okay? So I'll do that again. Open up, nice and relax. Take a photo here, and then you can relax, let it go. So we're flipping to the other side. The same thing, create that nice square position in the leg, arm reaching up, opening up. Take a photo here, and then come back up, let it go. The same thing here. So I have a greater range of motion moving to the right, and I also felt a lot more ease going to the right. And now you can compare the photos and see which side you have a greater range of motion. Now that you've done your assessment and you know what your orientation is, you can modify these exercises accordingly. As you already know, I am oriented towards the right, so these exercises will reflect that. So what I'm about to teach you is more like split squat and lunges. I use them interchangeably for this purpose, because for me in the past, the lunges and the split squat, I still felt the same thing in my hips. So I love starting with these bands to start, especially if you're just beginning to get into lunges or split squats. That can be extremely helpful. And then I also show you how to do that with weights in a second. We're loading the right side, and then I'm elevating my left side. So I have this band. Because it creates this resistance to this direction, I need to be able to work more on this side to be able to maintain my balance. So that really helps me out to use my side butt on the right side to be able to push myself to the left. Soft inhale, go down. I like to have that slightly lean forward position when you're going down into your lunge or into your split squat. So keep that going. And obviously you can do it how many reps that you want. It's completely up to your programming and what you're focusing on. And then ideally go as low down as you can, almost touching the ground beneath you. Now let's go to the left side. I'm going to hold the band here with my right arm. That forces me to go to the left naturally. So you go down, nice and control. So now I'm getting a little bit more inner thigh on the left, and that's what we need to be able to go left, right, without getting stuck on one side over the other. And again, choose the number of reps that you want. Now let's apply the same logic to our weight training. So I'm going to be loading on my right side, and I'm also showing you a different angle so you can see better. So I'm going to be having my right foot in the front, elevating the left foot, and I'm holding the weight on the same side as my right leg or the loading leg. So you inhale nice and control, going down, push through that midfoot, come back up. Inhale, there's that slight leaning forward, push through the midfoot. So many people don't connect with the midfoot as much as we all need. So really making sure that you're pushing down as you're coming back up. So One more time here. That's it. So now we're going to the left side. I have my left side elevated and I'm holding the weight on the opposite side, aka on the right in my case. So we get into that position. Again, inhale, go down, nice and control. And again, because of the positioning of the weight, your body is being encouraged to go to a direction that is more supportive. And we're constantly pushing through midfoot as we're coming back up. That's it. Very simple, easy tweaks to make massive gains and improve your movement pattern at the same time. If you enjoyed this video and you want to dive deeper into discovering your body's story, make sure to take the quiz down below to learn what your body has been trying to tell you. And I'll see you in the next video.